AI is not a human. I bet you knew it. We know that it's an artificial intelligence, but it's very important to remember that. Sometimes we forget about it. For example, when you talk with ChatGPT, I don't know if you tried, but you tend to write something like, hey, can I ask you a question? Or can you please do that for me? Or thank you, or this kind of things, right? But it's very important to remember that AI is not a human because we need to communicate differently to get better results. The results that we want to get, at least. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get better results from your sketches while using Vizcom. By the way, thank you Vizcom for sponsoring this video. We need some sketches, so let's get into that. Everybody have a different style of sketching and it is totally fine. I don't expect you to change your sketch style just for Vizcom. But you can simplify your sketches later to get better results. I like the quick sketches with some very basic shading on it, for example. I use line weight to emphasize important parts of my sketch. By the way, you can learn car design sketching basics from my online courses. Alright, now the sketches are done, so it is time to upload them to Vizcom. And we need to take some photos to do that, if you don't have a scanner. Let me give you some tips on that as well. Don't take a photo with your desk lamp. Generally, the desk lamps are very harsh lights and creates uneven shadows and highlights on the photo. We need to have more even shadows and lights on our paper. So it is better to turn off the desk lamp. Actually, it's even better to go next to a window and take photos there. Especially if it's a cloudy day, you will have very soft light on your sketch. Then it's time to go to Photoshop for a couple of quick adjustments and let me show you. For the editing, first let's rotate this image. As you see, the paper is a little bit wrapped, like we see different angles. I would first pick the sketch, Ctrl-C, go to my new file, Ctrl-V, and Ctrl-T for scaling it down and deciding the position. So first thing I want to do is Ctrl-U, desaturate it, hit OK, Ctrl-L, pick this one for the blacks, so this will determine the black part of the sketch. And this one will pick the white part of the sketch. So basically, it pretends like scanning it by changing the contrast levels of the sketch. You can still see some gray area here. So for that, I will get my white brush and just brush it around. Here we go. So the sketch looks like almost scanned rather than a photo. As we got the sketches, let's jump into Vizcom. Vizcom had a big update recently on the UX UI, so you can have some introduction on the website. Alright, first I'm going to drag the photo that we took with the desk lamp, just to see what happens, because this is one of the tips, one of the things you shouldn't do actually. Let's write the prompt as SUV concept modern electric feeling. Hit enter. And we got a horrible result here. Let's try it again. Let's decrease it to 90%, 85%, and I just hit generate again. So we have a very unsatisfying result because there are a lot of things going on this image, and the AI takes all this little data as a reference and tries to generate something out of it. That's why it's important to first clean your sketch and have a clean background on your sketch. So let's cancel this one. By the way, I just realized that some features are locked, for example, creating 4 generated images. So when you click, you can see that you can create your own free trial workspace for 30 days. So I'm going to do that as well. Simply, I created the free trial and I just hit the continue again. We have some features unlocked now. Now I will drag the cleaned version of the previous sketch and I'm going to write a similar prompt because I don't remember what I just wrote. It was something like SUV concept and something like modern electric design language. Let's just hit generate. This is the first result. Let's go to number 4. And hit generate again. And we have a couple of results which are not bad, definitely better than the previous one. At least it looks like a car now. And I quite like this one, honestly. But we can just hit generate one more time, or we can confirm this because I don't want to lose it. It's confirmed. And then I can go to my layers and hide it, and then go back to the generate mode, create mode, and then maybe decrease the drawing influence to 85% and generate again. So they're quite interesting, I would say. Like, it looks like a lot of texture pattern going on the car, right? I think the reason is on the original sketch. If we just confirm one of them, like just to keep, let's say, this one looks kind of interesting to me. I will go to my layers to see the original sketch, and this lines that I created, these hatching lines, the basic shading, as I said at the beginning of this video, is confusing AI. It's not like a human. I can show it to another designer and the person can understand, okay, these are the reflections and the shadows and highlights on the surface, but AI considers each line as a data and it doesn't know what to do with it. So for experimenting it in a better way, I did the same sketch in 3 different levels. This is the original sketch after a little bit of adjustments, but this is right from the paper. And this is the second version. I simplified it quickly on Photoshop. I just sketched over the original one, but I basically removed the hatching, the basic shading on it. And the third one is even simpler. It looks like, I don't know, done in MS Paint or something, but just to experiment what happens, I tried both of them. And for all of them, I wrote the same prompt, which is Alfa Romeo Concept Electric Sports Car. So the result of the first one is this, which is okay. I mean, I see something. I can generate some different options to see, I don't know, to maybe inspire myself or something, but it is not directly usable on Photoshop in my opinion. The second sketch is the cleaner version, and if I generate the same prompt, I had this output, which is way more cleaner. As you see, I really like this very nice highlights and reflections on the surface. With a little bit of touch on Photoshop, with a little bit of refinement, I think it is already a nice design proposal, so I can directly use it on my design process. And the third one, even more cleaner sketch. Do you think it will be better or worse? Let's see. I wrote the same prompt and this was the result. I was also surprised. Probably after generating it a couple of times, it might have different results, but I kept the drawing influence 100% on each of these examples. So this one is definitely my personal favorite. And if I turn off this sketch, shows that the level, you don't have to sweat a lot to make it perfect and like a super clean and lose everything. But compared to this one, we just clean the sketch a little bit, as you see. The next tip to get better results on Vizcom is the scale of your sketch. On your canvas, the sketch shouldn't be very tiny or small. Like, just scale up your sketch and put it nicely on the whole canvas and you will get better results. Let's test it out together. I'm gonna drag my sketch. If I zoom out, as you see, it's like a small portion of my canvas. And let's write a prompt. By the way, I did this sketch. It's not the cleanest sketch again, but it's okay to experiment with it. You can see there are some very basic shadings going on, and I directly draw it on the Photoshop. So the prompt can be sporty hatchback designed by... What brand can it be, do you think? Maybe just sporty hatchback design. Let's hit number 4 and generate. And as you see, it tries to focus more on the background rather than the sketch. Like, let's see the other variations. And the car itself looks super blurred. There's no refinement. This is interesting that there are also other cars in the scene, but as you see, it cannot focus on the car itself much. Let's just confirm one of them to keep it. I don't know, let's say this one, I'm going to confirm. I created a new file and I'm going to put the same sketch, exactly same sketch, but in a bigger scale. So what was the prompt for the previous one? Sporty hatchback design. And we definitely have better results than the previous one. Still, maybe because of the sketch is not super clean, there are this kind of confusions. I can understand that. But it is definitely way better than the previous file, the previous version of the sketch. In connection with the previous tip, I can also mention that you shouldn't put multiple sketches in one board and try to get good results out of it, because it's actually in connection with both tips that I just gave you. Clean sketches and scale them up to the canvas size, because otherwise the AI will be totally confused and try to use all this data as an input. But if you're not convinced, we can just try it. Honestly, I'm curious what will happen. I don't expect anything good out of it. Okay, honestly, a bit better than I was expecting. Let's see the others. What I see is it gives the coherent style to each sketch at least, but definitely you should separate them and upload them as the other tips I just mentioned, and you will get better results with it. You can see all these tips and more on the Vizcom's guideline, and I will leave the link in the description for that. For the next Vizcom video, which will be on the next month, I'm planning to use your sketches and import them into Vizcom, and to see what kind of results we will get, I will use the sketches that you probably already sent me on my backmydesign@gmail.com. I use this email for commenting on subscribers' designs videos if you saw them before. So if you want to participate in this, send your works to backmydesign@gmail.com and I will pick your sketches and use them for the next Vizcom video. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are new for the more car design content. See you in the next one.